Hey everyone, it's Dot, and today I'm going to show you how to make a very healthy, low-carb stuffing for your Thanksgiving dinner. It's going to be awesome. And the star of it is some sausage right here. I'm using a mild Italian sausage that's going to go into it. Now, I do have a recipe for a sage sausage that you can use, and I'll link that below, as well as I'll put the carb count for this recipe if you use that sausage in place of just a mild Italian one. So with that, let's head over to the stove. All right, I've lightly oiled my skillet with olive oil, and I'm just going to go ahead and add my sausage. I'm just cooking over a medium heat. And all I did was I took links, I took them out of the casings, and you're going to just chop them up basically. You want to break up your sausage into smaller pieces. And I tend to do this before I add my other ingredients that are going to cook with the sausage. I broke up all my sausage. I'm probably going to still break it up as I go along as it cooks. But right now, we're going to add onion and celery. Sausage is done. I took it off heat. Now, while the sausage is cooked all the way through, I took it off heat just before the celery is completely limp and soft. I want it to have a little bit of crunch simply because it's going to finish up in the oven, and that'll make it nice and soft and mellow for this dish. Right now, I'm going to start putting together the dry ingredients. And the two main ingredients I'm using in this are cauliflower and rutabaga. And for our friends in England, I believe they pronounce it suede. I think they call it suede there. Correct me if I'm wrong in the pronunciation, because, you know, there's nothing like I love more than having everyone correct my pronunciation on videos for the rest of the life of the video. Anyway, let's add the cauliflower. Now, I will say this, the challenge you have with this recipe, cauliflower and rutabaga do not cook at the same rate in the oven, simply because rutabaga is a root vegetable. It's more dense. It basically takes a little bit longer to get soft the way you want it. So to compensate for that, what I did was I cut my cauliflower to be about 1.5 inches in size. My rutabaga, which I picked up at the grocery store on a whim, I just thought, well, why not add this to the stuffing, see how it goes, is about 1 inch in size cube-wise, how they sliced it. I cut them in half by making them smaller and keeping my cauliflower the size I normally would cook them at. My thinking is, and we'll see if I'm right, is that the rutabaga will cook at the same rate as the cauliflower. Let's hope that's correct, but let's go ahead and add them in here now. I'm going to go ahead and add my herbs. I'm using thyme, parsley, and sage. Woohoo. I'm going to use some chopped up garlic. And next up is the sausage. What I'm doing here is straining it because I want to make sure the excess fat that's already in the pan does not get into the actual stuffing. That seems counterintuitive when you're cooking low carb or ketogenic. However, you don't want your stuffing to be overly wet because the cauliflower is going to give up quite a bit of water. Now you just add it all in. Next up, pepper, sea salt, grated Parmesan, and your 3 eggs. Now, with clean hands, we're going to start mixing everything together. I already went ahead and greased my 8x8 baking dish. And basically, I'm just using a tablespoon of refined coconut oil so it won't have a coconut taste to it. You can use the fat of your choice. So all we do is pour it in. Smooth it out. And tap it down. The oven's preheated to 450 and it's going to go in for about 30 minutes. It's out of the oven. It smells quite tasty. But the question is, does it taste good? Let's give it a bite. Good news, it does look like stuffing when you look at it. And amazingly enough, it is sticking together like I had hoped, which is what the egg does. It is piping hot, as you can see. So I'm going to take a quick little bite. I'm going to get a little bit of the rutabaga. Okay, it tastes wonderful. I really enjoyed the flavors. The rutabaga, like I thought it would, it mellowed out as it softened. That's awesome. It goes really well with the sausage. I had lovely herbs in there. I can definitely taste the sage. I could definitely taste the thyme. A little bit of the parsley. It reminds me of tasting stuffing. So it has a little bit of the firm, but yet still chewy texture of stuffing that I grew up with. And The nice thing about it, it's significantly lower in carbs than the real thing. Hope you enjoyed the video. Share with your friends and also subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll see ya.